Hey guys, producer Matt here. Just wanted to give you a quick update. At the end of last week's episode, we said that we would be releasing the Sleeping Beauty episode of the podcast. We are going to release that next week. We recorded this news episode, and with all the James Gunn stuff that's going on right now, and we discuss it in depth in this episode, it just felt like a smarter idea to put it out while everything is happening right now so that it wasn't too dated by the time it finally came out. So, news episode a week early. Next week, we will have the Sleeping Beauty episode. Thank you guys always for listening. And thank you to anybody who found out about us from San Diego Comic-Con. I hope you're enjoying the show. Or those people who found us through Kevin Perger. Thanks for sticking around for a couple extra episodes to see how you like us.
Hey! Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Or maybe it's truly magical. Whoa, when I see that castle, the feeling is truly magical. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is a DisNeato podcast. Tonight, we're going to be talking news with producer Matt.
Hello.
Producer Matt has good news for us as always from the realm of Disney.
Also, this is the first time we've all been together to record in about a month or maybe more, I think.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
It's been a minute, as the children say.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
First off, as we do with the news episodes, have you guys watched anything Disney in the month that we haven't really hung out?
Nope, of course not.
What did I watch? Ooh, I watched Princess Diaries a few days ago.
How was that?
For some reason, I was going to be like, Mamma Mia, here we go again. I think it's because her name's Mia, but that's the wrong movie.
It is Miss Mia Thermopolis.
Mia Thermopolis.
Mia Thermopolis alone is just a fun last Thermopolis.
Thermopolis.
Hi, I'm Andrew Thermopolis.
It sounds Greek. What is she, Genovia?
Genovian.
Yeah.
Genovian?
Is that a place?
Genovas?
Is that a real place?
Genovagonian?
Genovian.
But yeah, that was a good movie.
I watched the live-action Jungle Book.
Ooh, I've only seen that once, but it was great.
I liked it. It was really pretty. Very
Yes,
beautiful.
visually stunning.
I didn't like some of the casting choices. I thought Scarlett Johansson as Kaa was a little annoying. But that's just me. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Decide for yourself. You're your own human. But otherwise, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I see that.
What else did I watch?
You know, I just had an epiphany now that you were talking about Jungle Book. I just had the epiphany that, well, that's what Lion King's going to be like.
Yeah,
That's
it
gonna be
is.
the new
That's
Lion
exactly
King.
what it's going to be.
Shit.
Which is why I don't get why they call it live action when it's clearly going to be just CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get all
Dear
that.
Disney, figure that out and tell us.
I watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame for the first time. No, but I don't think that the movie's like incredible. Like, I know some people who adore that movie, but I do think that musically it's the most structured like an actual musical, like the way the music actually flows.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's beautifully drawn. But I don't know how often, like, after I thought about it a little bit, when I first watched it, I was like, this is incredible. And then later I was like, I didn't follow the source material in the slightest. It was okay. I don't think... But there's definitely, like, I get why it has the fans that it has.
It was
Wait,
okay.
who is a fan of The Hunchback of Notre Dame? I feel like that movie is the most shitted on in, like, recent memory.
It's pretty well liked, I've noticed, when I was looking online.
I mean, Esmeralda's pretty cool.
Esmeralda's pretty cool.
Also a great name.
I also think
Esmeralda Thermopolis.
There you go.
All the syllables.
Well, if you
There
guys
is a lot of syllables.
If you guys don't have any other movies or Disney stuff that you watch,
I watched a live action one. Cinderella.
oh, there we go.
Live action Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Thank you for that. Which came out in 2015. And it stars Lily James and Richard Madden, who was a babe. And he played Robb Stark on Game of Thrones. Just FYI.
I still haven't seen that live action Cinderella.
Yeah,
How
I
is
haven't
it?
It's
either.
really good, guys. Like, it is everything I want a Disney live action film to be. It, like, follows it to the T, the original movie. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
There's so much chewing in my ear.
Yeah.
Listen, between this bag of Hershey miniatures and this glass of wine.
Yeah, we're eating chocolate and drinking wine. What do you want?
Layer cake wine, to be specific.
Dessert wine with dessert. Anyway, live action Cinderella is fantastic. And the horse she rides is beautiful, by the way.
All right.
Just saying.
Good to know.
Brooke likes horses, by the way. She is
If
an
you
avid
didn't know.
horse fanatic.
So here's there's only 2 noteworthy anniversaries in the month of August that I found for this year. They're both tied to Disney Channel movies.
Yeah.
On the 15th of August, it will be the 15-year anniversary of the Cheetah Girls.
Ooh.
I love the Cheetah Girls.
Yeah.
And on the 20th of August, it'll be the 20-year anniversary of Brink.
Yeah! Woo! Soul Skaters for life.
I believe both of those were on our list for our top 5.
Original movies. Brink was my number 1.
Yeah. So
Speaking of which, we need to get rollerblades.
we still don't get rollerblades.
We're gonna get fucking rollerblades, and I want to get like the old school like helmets and like knee pads and elbow pads. Take like a cool picture of us looking real retro and like saying '90s shit.
Yeah. Wear a
Yeah.
little bit of flannel.
Yeah,
Maybe some checkered pants.
Yeah.
No. Ripped.
yeah, they've got to be
Faded.
like acid wash.
I got them. We're good.
All right.
Speaking of, if anybody listening rollerblades, please send us some links to good rollerblades because it's overwhelming when I go on Amazon
Yeah,
and
good
search
rollerblades at a good price.
Yeah. We are millennials.
All right, so let's dive into the news. So recently, literally probably a week after the last news episode, Toy Story Land opened, which was a big success over in Disney World. The Slinky Dog Dash ride had a wait time of over 4 hours on the opening day.
Oh my god, who goes through that?
Well,
I
believe
mean, I've
Andrew knows
never, like
somebody.
we've discussed a million times, I've never been to Disney, so like I guess that's just like a wait time.
People wait their whole lives to do that shit.
But
Yeah.
like oh my god, I don't know if I have the patience.
The plus is that a lot of those Disney rides, the wait lines are so detailed and interesting and playful that it makes it worth it a lot of the
I was
time.
just going to say, it's like a ride waiting for the ride.
Good, that's good to know.
It's like you get to walk through like imagine like kind of going through like a museum
I love
as you're in
museums,
line.
so I would
There's
like
always
that.
something to look at.
I could do that. And so there's only 3 rides in Toy Story Land, correct?
Correct.
So we all know this person, and she went to Toy Story Land. Tell us her experience.
Yeah, she lives down in Florida, about within like 2 hours to Disney, so she frequently goes there. And she went to Toy Story Land, and so the park opens at 8, right? They got there at 6. Disney, doing their thing, sometimes will open the park early. So they got the park opened early and got in there very quickly before all the rest of the crowds come in, because people who don't know that the park sometimes goes open early aren't going to get there early. They get there around 8. So you miss all that. So they were able to do all the rides twice by 11.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
shit.
Yeah. Waiting like less than an hour for the Slinky roller coaster.
Oh, that's so cool.
Did she say if it was fun?
She loved it. It was great. They did a great killer job as always, apparently. Rides were fun. That's why they did them multiple times. And then apparently after they got off the second time, the wait was like 3.5 hours. So, and that was just within the last month.
Well, in the design, like everything I've been seeing about the design of that portion of the park is like super impressive. Like it's supposed to be that you're in Andy's backyard, so everything's built out of pencils and scotch tape and stuff like that. And there's giant Andy footprints all over the land, so it looks like he's been walking through there.
I wonder if it's similar to how they did the Bugs Life's area,
I'm sure.
where everything was just giant.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
They there's like one eating area there called Andy's Lunchbox, and it's all like
I'd eat Andy's lunchbox.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ. It's
Wow.
Sorry.
it's all like food that you would give a child, and apparently there's like a
What
Pop
food
Tart-
you'd give a child? What is it? Like
Well, like-
Lunchables and Capri Suns?
like ham and cheese
Crack in a
sandwiches
40?
and stuff like that. But there's apparently like these like gourmet Pop Tart type things that they've made that apparently look really delicious. But all of the
A gourmet Pop Tart.
Apparently look really delicious.
They look delicious.
but the photos that I've seen of there, the tables are all notes that the mom has left in Andy's lunchbox. So like one table will just be like a handwritten note that says like, "Dear Andy, you're my favorite cowboy. Love, Mom," or like stuff like that, which I think is
Wow. What if like her daughter wanted to be a cowboy?
well,
Yeah, that's rude.
well,
Is the
that's
rest
true.
of the family in that at all? No, I guess not.
So there's no dad.
No,
What happened to Andy's dad?
you
Well-
never know.
So, remember, it came out in the 90s, and I was talking to somebody about this today. Maybe yesterday. But the 90s were big for parents getting divorced. It was like a huge theme of the 90s and like single parents. So
They were
right on
90s.
trend.
It was cool to get divorced in the 90s.
yeah, seriously.
Everybody was doing it.
Yeah. Google
YOLO.
it. Google it. There's a trend chart.
So I've got a little bit of movie news. So we've got the fact is when this episode drops, Christopher Robin will have officially opened.
Yay!
So I'm super excited for that.
I know, me
Tremendous.
But they moved Mary Poppins Returns up a week to get it out from that Christmas weekend. So now it's going to be opening in December 19th.
Good.
too. With Lin-Manuel Miranda.
You know, that's actually really smart because then they get the people before Christmas that want to go, and then the
Exactly.
people that go on Christmas can still see it.
They've announced that on October 11th in 2019, they're going to be doing a movie based on the Jungle Cruise ride, which will be starring The Rock and Emily Blunt.
I love
hate it
The Rock.
already.
I love The Rock.
And
He goes by his real name, Dwayne Johnson now,
Dwayne
by the way.
Rock Johnson. I saw Skyscraper when I was in LA. It
Which
was
is,
bad.
that looks like a Die Hard, like a new age Die Hard.
I called it Sky Hard.
Well, yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
And then May 19th, 2020, we've got Maleficent 2.
Why? Why do we need that? We know
don't
she's
need a
really in
sequel.
Snow White and not in Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, we don't need a sequel.
We don't need a sequel.
I slowly picked on to the fact that whenever Brooke sings anything, she kind of just sounds like Aziz Ansari every single time.
In the best way, though.
the best way, but
Because
she
that's the best
absolutely
thing about
does.
Aziz.
I'm gonna kill myself now.
No, it's charming.
Is it? I don't really want to sound like Aziz Ansari.
No, because
I
when
don't
he
even
does
like
it,
Tom Haverford.
What it is?
I like John Ralphio.
Jean Ralphio.
How would you, without saying that it's Aziz Ansari, what's the essence that we're seeing
Nasally
captured here?
annoying.
No. It's the animation in the tone.
Yeah, just
That's
the
what I
very
was-
Yeah,
excited
sure.
to be
We'll
there.
go with that. We'll go with that.
So, Brooke, I'm curious to know your opinion on this final news piece, which is that they announced in 2021 Indiana Jones 5.
First of all, Harrison Ford will probably be dead by then.
So that's an optimistic start.
Yeah. And I love Harrison Ford. I think he's great. He's a grump. I appreciate that. I just don't understand why we need a 5 when 4 was already so bad. Are they trying to redeem themselves?
Probably not.
Some
Like-
people can't make a mistake just once.
Who's in this one? Didn't they like reveal who's in this one?
I'm sure they did. I couldn't get any information on that. Just I was like, oh, they're making another Indiana Jones movie. That's something to bring up to Brooke.
It's just, let bygones be bygones type of thing.
All right, so we've got one last park piece of news. They've started construction on a new roller coaster that they want to build in Epcot that will be Guardians of the Galaxy themed.
Where's Chris Pratt? Where is he?
And that leads into what I think the main news topic is going to be of this episode, which will be,
Before we do that,
yeah,
I have a piece of news
go for it.
that you didn't bring up.
Zinger.
Oh, no.
Got him. So Disney is releasing a sequel to Hocus Pocus.
What?
Yeah, listen to this.
Boom.
But
News drop.
here's a twist.
I'm listening.
It's a book.
Okay.
And it's really progressive, and it kind of fits with an episode that we released in June for Pride Month.
Yes.
When we talked about Disney having openly gay characters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this sequel, it is about Poppy, who is the daughter of Max and Allison.
Okay.
And she has a female love interest in the book. And then those two have a run-in with the Sanderson sisters 25 years after the events of Hocus Pocus.
I'm in.
So that's supposed to come out in August, I believe.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
have
everyone
to-
read the book.
We'll do like a special DisNeato book club on that or something.
Yeah. Dude,
Conspiracy theory I just formed.
Yes.
What if Disney, in the spirit of being Disney, throws a curveball? What if they release this book just to amp things up? And then they drop like a fucking surprise Disney Channel original movie, Hocus Pocus 2, around Halloween.
We would watch it together.
I
the
don't
day
want
that
it to be
airs.
an original movie. I want it to be in theaters.
What if they release
A theatrical trailer.
What if they did everything that Andrew just said, but it was a theatric release instead of an OG
Dope.
movie?
I would shit a brick.
Literally
I
should
would
have break.
cancel any Halloween plans that anybody made with
Yeah,
me. for
there's
that.
no way I would do anything other than see Hocus Pocus.
They would break the box office.
Dude, they would kill it. Like, do they even understand what a cult following this movie has?
They're making Indiana Jones 5 when they could.
And we can't even get a Hocus Pocus 2.
What the fuck? They wrote a book. They
wrote
took
a
the time to
book.
do
So
something
there's
that
a
nobody's going to
script.
look at.
But I feel like a lot
of
of people need to go out and buy that book as soon as it comes out to show that we are ready for part 2.
I will play Poppy. I mean, I
Hocus
could totally
Pocus is
pass
a
as a
trending-
17-year-old, right?
Hocus Pocus has been trending on social media since social media was a thing. If they don't have the analytics to see that Hocus Pocus 2 is viable and totally profitable, they're stupid.
Well,
Which I know they're not, so there's a reason.
didn't what's her name?
I'm telling you, it's because they can't get the
I'm
whole
just
crew
gonna
back together.
Winifred Sanderson.
Bette Midler?
Yes. Didn't she say she would do a second one?
Yeah,
I think they all
did.
said, yeah.
So, like, what is the deal here? We got 3 High School Musicals.
Maybe they can't get that. Who played the blonde girl?
Who played
Sarah
Allison?
Jessica Parker?
Oh wait, no.
Not the witch. The one that the
Who
main
played
dude was in love
Allison?
with. Yeah, Allison.
We could replace her.
We can replace
We can replace
Allison.
her.
We can replace Allison.
Also, I'm
and
pretty
guess they
sure
were
she's not
kids.
doing a whole hell of a lot right now, so she would probably be in.
Well, that's my thing. Like,
Max. She's probably sitting outside of Disney right now campaigning for Hocus Pocus 2.
I need work.
She's probably in like a really successful show right now, and we're all just being assholes.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Or
look
she's
this up.
just still banking on Hocus Pocus, and
Dude,
it's fine.
for real.
Man, they're set.
They really are. I wish I had been able to play Danny, but I was only 3 when that movie
What's
came out.
she doing now?
She was in What Now and Then, and she was in 13 with Nikki Reed. She's done a bunch of stuff since then.
The girl who played
Or no, she wasn't in
Allison-
13 with Nikki Reed. That was Evan Rachel Wood. I'm an idiot.
The
Sorry.
girl who's been in Allison, or the girl who played Allison hasn't really done anything that I've heard of. On to more pleasant news, I guess.
Is it more
Can we look
pleasant
at some
news?
puppies for a minute?
No, I guess,
Jeez.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really the most pleasant news, but it's the biggest Disney-related news happening right now. So we talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. And while I was at Comic-Con, this news dropped, and I was like, okay, we have to talk about this on the podcast. So James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, before he got Guardians of the Galaxy, was kind of like a punk rock shock comedian and would do really gross, offensive films. He made some like very X-rated horror films in his past. He did these short films called PG porn that all involve like a 70s porn type scenario where the porn star dies before any sex happens. Like all these really fucked up, twisted things. But he got to do Guardians because he promised that like that was in his past and that he'd moved on. And then the same guy who was behind the whole like Gamergate and Pizzagate stuff, and who like basically he's a super like alt-right person, tries to basically has been like digging up anything where someone who's opposed to Trump has been bitching too much about anti-Trump stuff. They'll dig up something horrible from their past and use that to get them fired and to make like the left side seem like they're hypocrites. So he dug back 10 years and found some tweets that James Gunn had written 10 years ago, and then used that to eventually get him pulled from Guardians of the Galaxy and have his Twitter shut down and got him fired from
But what were the tweets?
Sounds like a lot of drama.
So the two main ones that have caused a little bit of controversy, admittedly, and I'm going to read the two tweets that they brought up and then what James Gunn's response was to it. The first one was, I think the best thing about getting raped is when you're done being raped and you feel like, at least I'm not being raped anymore. And the other one was a tweet that said, hashtag making romantic movies unromantic, 3 men and a baby whom they fuck. So he tweeted out, many people who followed my career knew that I viewed myself as a shock jock, making movies and telling jokes that were outrageous and taboo. I've discussed this in public many times, but I've developed and grown as a person, and so has my work and my humor. I don't regret the person that I was, but I like the person I am much more. And people have used this to kind of rally behind James Gunn. There was a change.org petition that was set up 4 days ago that already has 300,000 signatures on it, demanding that Disney change their philosophies. The biggest thing that people are saying is, you're firing a dude for how he was 10 years ago when Disney has a very, very racy past of like Song of the South and the depiction of crows in Dumbo and like Siamese cats in Lady and the Tramp. But I'm curious what your guys' opinion is on this whole thing.
So I think what he tweeted is obviously very insensitive and wrong and shouldn't have been said. With that, I feel like he has owned that it's something he has done, but he's not the same person. I feel like he's not like advocating those things. I feel like the second one about like the 3 men and a baby they fuck was very clearly a joke, and while it was like not a good one, I don't think he meant any harm by it. It was just kind of like a poor decision on his part. I think the one about rape, you just shouldn't joke about rape. I feel like we should be past that as a society. Like, that's just not something you joke about ever. Hopefully it's not something he has joked about since or ever will again. With that said, I think he did a really good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I'm all about giving people second chances. And I think Disney should maybe reflect on that a little bit. I feel like in this time right now, people are so quick. Like, as soon as you do one thing wrong, like, you're cut off. But, like, our president can do a million things wrong, and he's still fucking president of the United States.
Yeah, well, and people have pointed out that Johnny Depp is still doing Pirates movies while it's been, like, known that he beat his wife.
He beat Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just you're not famous enough for us to stand up for you, I feel like.
I feel like it's just they're trying to make examples of people just to make examples of people.
Yeah, it's definitely like a very iffy groundwork to be walking on in the first place.
I mean, I think he should have to answer for like stuff that he has said in the past and like give those explanations. I think he should, but like I don't think we should punish someone forever if they have clearly shown that like they've changed their ways.
Yeah, his brother had written a thing that I thought was really... Because his brother's actually a pretty famous actor, and he's in the Guardians movies. His brother was on, like, Gilmore Girls and stuff like that. But he had said, like, I remember when James first got this movie, he was afraid that he was going to lose his shocky edge humor, and then I saw him naturally lose it when he realized that that wasn't the person he really was anymore. He goes, I don't think someone should be punished for growing.
I agree. I don't think they should. Like, I mean, so if we can elect a man who said he grabs women by the pussy as president, then I think James Gunn can direct a movie about aliens
Well, and Disney,
starring Chris Pratt.
Disney, the movie Powder that Disney produced, I mean, it didn't make a ton of money, but that
Disney produced Powder?
Yeah.
About the albino boy?
Yeah.
Really?
Never heard of it.
The director of that movie that was the first movie he made after getting released from jail for raping a minor on the movie set. And Disney still hired him to do Powder.
Well, Powder's a fucked up movie in general.
It's just one of those things where it's like, you hired that guy. Bobcat Goldthwait had a really funny response to it where he was talking, because he's the voice of one of the two minions to Hades in Hercules, and he was also a very vulgar comedian in the 80s. So he said, Disney, I'm going to do you a favor. I know you just hired me to do all this voice work for one of your new attractions, but you should probably pull me from that attraction because I've got some really offensive stuff that I said a couple years ago. And, Hades is in there, and you should probably look into some of the stuff James Woods has been saying online as well.
Right?
So it's been... I think a lot of people have been speaking out. Batista implied that he wouldn't come back for a movie if James wasn't rehired, which might be...
no Drax.
Yeah, I don't really know if they could do a Guardians movie without Drax.
Matt's choking
happening over
to
there?
death.
Like an elderly. It was so funny.
And that makes Andrew laugh.
It's because I am elderly compared to...
I think everyone has said something at some point in their life that is really sketchy and shady that could, affect them now. Everyone has done something like that. I don't care who you are. Everyone has done something like that. We shouldn't be punished for it unless it's clearly an ingrained part of our personality.
Yeah, at one point, James Gunn's Wikipedia page said that he was a pedophile because of the jokes that he had written on Twitter. People take things and push it to a certain level. So, Andrew, you've been kind of quiet. I'm curious your perspective on everything.
I'm not quiet. I'm just listening. No, so clearly, given the tweets, given his age, no, you know what? No, I'm not going to say age because age has nothing to do with it. Given where he was at in his career and his state of mind and his state of life, I see that he had drivers aiming to get him fame and success. And at the time when those tweets came out, the big thing, if my memory serves me right, was going against the grain, going against the norm, doing things that were taboo and that were looked down upon or shunned in a kind of that way. So seeing those tweets just makes me think that it's less of this is how I really feel as a person as opposed to this is what I'm going to say because I know it's going to spark controversy. And that's what he wanted. And for somebody to then be able to reflect and admit that, I commend for. And, to Brooke's point, it's shit that happened in the past, and if you can own up to it and you clearly have a track record that's completely different from that and you've been successful and have made good decisions and made great relationships with people in your life, then why hold that against somebody? That's why the world's the way it is, because we look at those things, we focus on that instead of everything else. Yeah,
I think we need to recognize when a person grows and develops. And whether that has happened with James Gunn or not, it's not for me to decide or be the judge of. Clearly Disney needs to be the judge of that, but they have to be willing to look at someone's growth and look at, how they're representing themselves today versus back then. Because that person, someone dug up 10 years of shit to bring it to light. If Disney didn't notice this before... why is it influencing them now?
They were aware of it when he first got hired for the
Okay, so because someone was oh, look at what he said.
Yeah.
How many times can we pull up shit? I hate to keep going back to Trump, but he's just such a moron that it's easy to do. And I don't mean to politicize this, but he has said shit in the past where it's oh, if you agree with Putin on anything, you shouldn't be president. But then it's he goes and does it, and it's he's still president, you know. That's still he still is.
Well, even just looking at ourselves, let's all take 5 seconds. and think to ourselves, you look at the last 10, 15 years of your life, you think of all the craziest, worst shit you've done.
Think
and
of how
to yourself,
annoying you were posting shit on social media.
Oh my god, time hop makes me hate my younger self.
Dude, I don't have it connected to my Facebook. Like, I don't want to know what the hell I was saying.
The
I was
shit
so
I
annoying.
said, oh my god. So I get this guy. I empathize.
Yeah.
And there was there was a niche for that. There still is a niche for shock jocks and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I was gonna say like three years ago, even when I first started doing the Horror Movie Night podcast, we were playing like exaggerated characters of ourselves, and we decided to step away from that because too many people were thinking that that's who we really were. So when we would say like kind of off-colored, shocking things, we were getting a lot of people who were like, "Fuck yeah!" and we were like, "Well, we don't want that fan base." There's some stuff where if I was to get and even like a little bit bigger, I would be like, all right, let's delete the first like 50 episodes of this show and never let them see the light of day.
I mean, I think it's all about like obviously James Gunn is not about that anymore. I'm assuming, and I think Disney needs to not be so controlled by people who are trying to cause controversy.
Yeah. And he was in the middle of a divorce when all that was written too, which I think has a lot of like anger behind it. Most of my friends I know, when they're going through that, are not, always making the most thought out.
You're not your best self in situations like that.
No.
Even if you really try to be, like, there's pieces of you that are lacking. Obviously, it's up for Disney to decide. I hope that they have like a very open dialogue about it and take in, into consideration how long ago that was, who Jim is today, what the cast and like crew says about him, and like how they feel about it. It's ultimately up for them to decide. I think it was a hasty decision. I think like in this time right now, people are just like letting heads roll after the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. Like nobody wants to be caught up in that.
Yeah.
They just don't. And so it's like they see a risk and they want to eliminate it. So they do it immediately without, taking in what it could really be costing them.
No, I think that's fair. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add on the topic?
My gut feeling is that they're not going to bring him back because they would rather have the fans be pissed than risk
Like investors.
Investors in the media going ham on them for going weak or for going back on their word and then questioning everything.
Yeah, I agree. I
then it
don't
looks like
think
they're
they'll
doing it
bring
for
him
money.
back.
And then they can't do that because they're too big.
I had the cool advantage of when James Gunn got his start, he was doing films for a really indie horror company called Troma. And the founder of Troma comes to Comic-Con every year. It's this guy, Lloyd Kaufman, and he always has the booth right behind ours. So I've developed a decent friendship with him. And he's put Lloyd in every movie that he's made since as a thank you for Lloyd giving him his start. And I was asking him, like, what do you think? And he goes, Lloyd, he said, James made so much money on those two movies, and he loves film. Like, this sucks. But if no one's going to hire him, he's just going to use his own money to make a movie and, like, keep moving forward. But he's like, it's just been a real hit on him because, you get one negative thing said about you online, and he goes, he's been personally attacked on Twitter. People are attacking his daughters and his like wife and like all of this other stuff because it's just, people. He's the negativity of the anonymous internet where you can say something shitty to somebody just because it can't come back to you. He said that's the part that sucks. He's fine with the fact that he lost the job. Like he understands it and he respects the decision, but he doesn't like that people are basically attacking his family with accusations that aren't even remotely accurate.
I mean, that's keyboard warriors for you.
Yeah, exactly. So this was a very serious episode of the news.
Was it? I feel like we had a little bit of fun.
We had fun at the start. We heard a lot of chewing.
Like
Hasn't stopped me from eating chocolate this whole time.
I was gonna say,
I know.
We're having this nice back and forth, and Andrew's just crushing some
He's
crackles
snacking.
over there.
When I say I'll eat chocolate if it's in front of me until
Dude,
until there's no chocolate. Not till I'm full, not till I'm sick. Until there's no chocolate, I will.
Dude, you do you. Be yourself. That was the news.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed and that you continue listening to the DisNeato podcast. Otherwise, we're going to have one less thing to do a week.
Yeah. If you have any opinions about the James Gunn firing or the Hocus Pocus 2 and how there should really be a theatrical movie, or if you've been to Toy Story Land, you should reach out to us and give us your thoughts, or also just tell us your favorite chocolate and whether you think white chocolate is trash like we do.
If you don't think it's trash, you're trash.
Wow, that's
Just kidding.
That's a little rough.
Real controversy.
We love you despite your flaws. So yeah, reach out to us at our email, which is DisNeatoPodcast@gmail.com. We have a website that you can also email us from. That's DisNeatoPodcast.com. We have a Twitter at DisNeatoPodcast, and we also have a Facebook group, DisNeatos. I think I've covered them all. If I haven't,
Instagram, guys?
no,
Do you need Snapchat?
no,
I don't know. Tell us. Do you want to interact on Snapchat?
please, no, I can't do it all.
It's too much.
But you can
Although
follow
I could
Brooke's
snap
dog.
you. You can, yes, I was going to say I could snap you my dogs. You can follow my dogs on Instagram. They have their own account. It's at Rowdy Griffin the First. I'm not going to explain it. Just look it up.
Search for it. You'll find it. If you don't, oh well.
Then you're missing out.
It'll be a little hunt. It's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah, it's like a search in Instagram.
And that's the episode. We out.
Okay, bye. Ooh, I'm not good.
I'm not liking this right now.
I'm not good.
Check, check.
You sound like a whale.
Like Dory.
Yeah. I don't like white chocolate.
No, white chocolate's not chocolate. White chocolate's garbage.
It's trash. It's absolute trash.
It is. When I was
It's like they took everything good about chocolate and did the opposite.
they did. And
They were
then
like-
added a bunch of sugar.
Yeah, they were
To
like,
make up
just
for
take
it.
this white substance and pour like shitty sugar in it.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.